Bonjour à tous, hello everyone and welcome back to Mount Mac. This is Mac Plays on Mac and we are entering episode 8. We have a lot of things exciting planned today. A lot of things actually is going to be happening, so we're jumping straight on. No, what did we do last week or stuff like this. As you can see, the French pack is out now. We have a lot of new assets to play with, and I decided to implement them into that new place we are building outside of the main city. It's like right now going to be a village, like a very touristy places area, and I think it's going to look amazing. I mean, I'm very excited for you to see. So what you can see actually right now, we built a part of it in the previous episode. I just had to add a sneak peek of this episode, but we're actually going to do much more than just this, starting by increasing also pedestrian accessibility, make it look like more like a European vibe. So I'm gonna create some plaza just like here. We're gonna add some props, make everything feel actually like it belongs here. So all of these corners, we'll get back to them later down the road. We're actually gonna add some props and make them feel more realistic. Now here, I wanted to have a tram line going through the middle of this road, the main axles, and I was looking first at what kind of road already exists and what can we reuse, but nothing that I really liked for this kind of road or what I wanted to, so I decided to create my own. But before that, we are gonna have to add our own parking lots because street parking is not gonna be possible anymore, because I'm gonna change all of this road and that's gonna eliminate all of the street parking out of here, and all of the other houses over there don't really have street parking as well on this road because they are smaller kind of roads. So I'm trying to add some parking, as you can see, and it's gonna fill so quickly that I'm gonna keep having to add parking. People are moving in, it's becoming a very bustling place and I'm very happy about it, but we're gonna need to have more room for these cars. Now this, I'm trying to create a nice corner over here and it's not fitting the way I want it, so I'm just gonna plop an actual corner building. It's much better than creating my own, just like this. Perfect. And we are gonna create another road over here so I can have some actual building facing this road as well, and make it like the parkings are only on the inside and we don't see them from the main street, just like this. And here we're gonna change this center building so it fits better, and because all of the parkings are already full, I'm gonna add another one and a giant one over here. I'm gonna make sure that also the cost to park is actually pretty decent so I can make some money. Now let's create that road that I was talking about. So my idea is to get 2 tram line, 2 median, and then 2 line of traffic. Because for now train is not possible, I want to have at least a public connection with the main city, and I think bus is the best way to get there right now. So we are finally breaking even, but adding all of these services cost me a lot of money, so I need to make sure I balance my budget. And here also I need to one by one lock every building so they don't change their design, because that's actually the final design that I want them to look at. And here we're gonna connect the bus all the way to the city, but actually it cannot go to the central train station yet. I had a bus depot over here and I think that's the one we're gonna use for now. I'll think about a better connection down the road. In the meanwhile, I am also increasing some parking lot cost into the city and making some minor changes as well as the level of the water start to rise. And as you can see, yes, it is. Back in our little coastal village, I cleared out a bunch of single house blocks to grow my own French inspired block. So actually when I say French, it's more the design of the building, but when you look at it, the fact that I use a square like this, it's actually an amazing reminder of Barcelona. If you take a look at it, it's actually going to be very, very like Barcelona. The only thing is in Barcelona, it's not just square, it's actually octagonal, but it's the shape itself kind of looks square. It's just that the road, they are a bit more wider at the corners, so it doesn't have the exact feel. But I do like the style over there, and I think it's going to look like an amazing and beautiful, vibrant community. So I'm plopping all of this but I did realize that it's actually not exactly what I want in the future. I'm not very happy with all of the buildings that I had. I was just discovering at that moment all of the different assets from the pack. So actually I just decided, well, let's just start from scratch. So we're gonna reload the save from before. Let's delete all of the building just like here. We're gonna also move this parking lot away in just a second, and let's just start with the right building at the right locations. So I want a better mix of some roof with the with the orange colors and some roof with the Parisian kind of style. And I know that French assets mostly look like Paris, but actually a lot of these things are not just from Paris. Like if you took a look at all of the ones that are orange, this is more from the south of France. And this kind of a building, like it's called like the Haussmannian style, you actually can find that in a lot of places. So Paris obviously, of course, but also Bordeaux has a lot of it, and you can find some of them a bit in Toulouse and also in Lyon, although Lyon and Toulouse have a lot also of orange tiles and different kind of colors as well. But here, that's the idea what I'm going for. I just want to make this block like it fits together. So I don't want all of the same buildings everywhere. I don't want the same building style everywhere. They don't all need to have the same amount of stories, you know. It's just I want the thing as a whole to seem coherent. That's why I added some parking lot into the middle of some of them. These parking lots here, we're gonna move them to the side because this is a very important artery here, and it wouldn't be wasted with parking lot. It would actually be used as a centerpiece for more building just like this. And I added some extra parking lot between the highway and the side road Cherry Street. Also, we're gonna actually rezone all of this as well in the French style building in just a second. But here, let's make sure now that all of the building align the right way, and that we're gonna do also the surfaces so it doesn't have a patch of grass gap between the sidewalk and the building themselves. So we're going to do that to most of them, and we're going to try also to avoid to have, if there is grass for example in the center of the building, I would love to keep that. It would be like a center court, you know, to have some vegetation, some greenery, some space like this that can be like a little park inside. I love it. And for now, for once, we're actually gonna grow some building here. I'm gonna leave a tiny space between the highway and the buildings, so it's not just against it. And here we're gonna work on that corner, make sure it looks very well developed and dense. And hopefully all of the other buildings are gonna grow very soon, so we can actually have a feel of what I want later. Here I want to add a little plaza. I want to work on the plaza, so we're gonna add some assets. I'm thinking about putting some shops and some terraces with restaurants, so we're gonna go with these two of them. I'm gonna put also some newspaper stands and little accessories to make it feel more realistic. We're gonna add some shaded area and some trashes, and of course tables underneath so people can sit there and enjoy their lunch. In a similar way, we're gonna go across the street and we're gonna add a storefront in that building just to make it more like there is some commerce as well. I don't really like this one. I think we're gonna go for this one here, and we're gonna add a sign, and let's make sure to have some hot dog stands, some little benches, and just other props to make it more lively. I also don't really like how many of this wall we can see, you know, where they're on the side and there is no other building. So I think, and in real life that's actually how it is, usually there is stuff on this wall and we can actually do it ourselves by using these shutters and also like different kind of props that we have, and I think it's gonna make it much more complete, less of an empty wall, and it fits amazing. Honestly, I am very happy about this because in real life actually you will see that quite often. because yes, in Paris buildings are like this. Sometimes you have these odd empty buildings, empty side of the building here, that do happen, and it's not always a clean cut, but also you actually have some windows on these walls. Now I want to replace the services with the French Pack services assets, and here we're starting with the medical center. It's very interesting, but I think it looks a bit empty on the side, so I'm gonna plop some building to the side to make it more integrated and into a dense area, just like this. I want it to fit, so the choice of building I had is maybe not the best one on the entry side, but I do like that behind over there, just like this. We're gonna do now the same for the police center. It's fit perfectly over here, so I'm not gonna add any other buildings. And we already plopped our fire station on the other side over here. Now I see that I have some places that still miss pavement, so we're gonna fix this. Like, depending on the way you look at the building and the perspective, you know, sometimes they don't all fit perfectly, so you're gonna see me fixing this all along the episode. As soon as I see them, I pay attention to them, I'll fix it. And now that we're done with all of this, it's time to have our tram network go through here. So that might be just a placeholder, but for now that's where the tram depot is gonna stay. So I am not able to place the roads that I created before. For whatever reason, I can only create new ones, but I cannot replace old one with it. So I'm recreating this with a different type of road, and I'm trying to redo the exact same way that I had it before, because I want it to replace perfectly without being wider or less wide than the old road, so it doesn't do any demolition if we had any building growing on it. So now that's done, we can finally place the road and start to create our tram network. So I want it to go through as a circle all around, and here I actually don't have this road yet built, so I'm going to do the same as I had before. I'm going to have one line of traffic in each way and one line of tram in each direction as well, tram being to the side. This one though is too small to separate them with a median, so I'm just gonna have it like this. Perfect. And now I'm gonna have the different tram stops where I want them to be. I am gonna have two lines, one in each direction, and I'm gonna have them in different colors. It's just gonna be two circle lines like this. Now it's done, let's see how it works. So spoiler alert, I actually do have an issue over here at the bottom. As you can see, my stop is too close from the crossing, so the tram goes back, and then go back up again. Because of this, I have to move the stop a tiny bit before. It's not gonna be an issue, very easy fixed, but it took me a while to figure it out why, but very basic. And just like this, it is fixed. I just had to move this one. Everything looks smooth, everything is working, and people are actually using it. So it is actually pretty cool. Let's get them the right colors and we'll rename them in the next episode. Now I want these roads to feel more special, so I'm gonna put a decal on them. I wanted something like maybe like a green decal, but grass is usually used on the less busy area in Europe. So for the very busy like this, I was thinking more of a brick, and we're gonna put that on top of all of the different rail tracks. And just like this, we're gonna do all of them. I'm thinking about this one, but maybe we'll go with a different color in the future. Let's just take a look at how everything looks right now. So I do really like it a lot. It makes it very unique road. And I was thinking to myself, why stop here? Let's just make also the center of the road in a different kind of brick, just to make it even stand out much more, like it's actual. Let's work on the details on the corners. Let's try to do the light touches to make sure everything looks good. Here we go. And now we have pretty much what I wanted. So now I want a better separation on top of the color between the tram tracks and the walkways and the road itself. So we are gonna put some bushes on the median. I was actually trying to do that in the network, but I think my median are too small, so it was not letting me do it. But we are gonna manually add all of the trees and the bushes just like this to make it more of a green, pedestrian friendly oriented area, and it's gonna be much more enjoyable to walk on these streets. And before we take a look at everything we achieved today, I want us to take a look at a passenger view, or technically driver view, of the tram line. Look at how amazing it actually looks. Look at that sunset. It is incredible. Here we are gonna go into the older part of the city. These streets feel very, very good, very authentic. Don't mind my graphics are not perfect yet, and the down pavement are not perfect yet. I'm gonna rework on all of this, but I am so happy, so excited. Look at how amazing night is. Like the transition from night to day, day to night was incredible. We even have some aurora borealis. I just love it. The good news about this episode is we are also now making decent money. Finally, it's rising because our population is rising. So now it's time to take a look at everything we achieved today. Et voilà, c'est la fin de l'épisode. Here we go, episode is touching the end. Thank you so much everyone who make it until here. I really appreciate it. It was an amazing episode to build. I had so much fun. These assets helped me to bring me back into the game. I am very excited for next week. See you then. Bye bye.